Good afternoon.
Whew. Welcome to really hot Tasmania.
It is really hot, Tasmania. So
It's 30 degrees here.
I have my run sheet. It's on a. it is written on a
Napkin.
with a Pentel R50 as God intended.
I have wine because today's been a fucking shit show.
I have a glass of sugar-free lemonade because I'm living the dream.
So anyway, it's really hot here at the moment, and I was just telling Brad that. So we've got two pigs, Fred and Hattie, two black female pigs, and they chuck their friggin'
How
water.
dare you? They're mixed race.
What?
Hmm.
No.
Actually, Hattie's fairly pure. She's a Duroc, but Frederica is definitely.
She's got a white band on her.
Yep, and that's the saddleback, but the pointy ears
Yeah.
are large white. So she's
really?
of mixed race. She's black and white.
I can't actually. I must have known that because when we were trying to find names, remember, I wanted movie stars from the 40s, and so Hattie is the black actress. Hattie, I can't never remember her last name. The housekeeper from
Casablanca.
Gone with the Wind.
Or Gone with the Wind. Close.
Yeah, the big, beautiful black. Was it Matt? I don't know what her name was in the actual movie. I should look it up. I don't know.
Don't be racist.
I'm trying. I was going to say Mammy, but that's bad, right?
Hello, my darling.
Yeah,
Hello.
no.
Yeah,
Anyway,
hello,
so
darling.
the actress is Hattie someone, so that's Hattie. And then the other one, I was trying to find a mixed-raced woman from the 1940s, and I did find one. So Friederike someone. I should write this down so that when because people always ask me why
Hattie and
why
Freddie?
Hattie and Freddie. Anyway, but I was just saying that they flipped their bloody water trough out again today. So whenever it's hot, they're fucking cunts. Am I allowed to say that?
The rule is generally not within the first 30 seconds,
Oh,
but
okay.
we're 2 minutes in, so yeah, it's all good.
Anyway, so I had to go and fix their water trough because we haven't got a concrete one or a old claw tub bath in there because we move them around quite a bit.
And there's a reason for it. Those pigs, the larger pig weighs 300 kilos. Like, they're really big pigs, and people that have owned pigs come over and go, they're really big pigs.
And I
So
just
like
think
professional
our
farmers go, wow, they're the biggest pigs we've ever seen, because you anthropomorphise them and feed them.
I feed them fine.
Yes, they do, and that's why they're so big. They're in a very good paddock.
Oh, I was going to say, I've cut their food down and
We
everything.
have, but they were obese. Now they're just overweight.
Plump.
Yeah, they're festively plump.
So anyway, my smaller festively plump pig was jumping around like a maniac today when I was spraying her with the hose. So I actually had to tell her to calm down.
Because that's the problem. If it slips and breaks something, well, it's
Yeah.
ham. Like this.
Yeah, so she slipped once and went down on her front feet, and I'm like, calm down, Fred, because she was literally like 200.
Because they've got tiny little,
I know.
tiny
She's
little
done all
legs.
this bit, so she was jumping around and opening her mouth and having a whale of a time. But yeah, and she wouldn't stop even when I stopped spraying her. So I'm like, calm down. She finally went and rubbed on a tree, so she was fine. Anyway.
Yeah. In the fullness of time, it would be funny when they have because what they're doing at the moment, they're going around our house paddock and turning up all the rocks.
The bulldozers.
And adding goodness to the soil.
Poop.
Or piles of shite. And yeah, they're as effective they're more effective than an excavator. You've never seen anything like it. Pigs will turn over boulders that are I don't think they'll quite do a metre rock, but heading towards it, they will. They're amazing, and they will dig up and dig through anything. They'll rip trees down, they'll rip through. So as far as turning over the soil, so even though they cost a lot, so probably
we spend
$50 a week to feed them.
I don't know about that.
Because they're being supplemented by the teenage men. Eats roots and leaves. The old joke. I can't remember what it was. It was like
eats, shoots, and leaves.
Yes, or eats roots and leaves. But pigs actually do eat roots and leaves.
Yes, I've got a book called Eat, Shoots and Leaves. It's all about grammar. So the apostrophes are all in the wrong spot. And
the common nuts.
Anywho.
Bad joke, but you get the idea. What was I going to say?
They do have treats, but they cost us about $1,000 every 6 months for their feed bags that I get delivered.
And that's what I was thinking, sort of, around about $50 a week.
Gone up like everything else.
Yeah.
So
and they eat pig pellets, which is like chook pellets, but for pigs.
Yeah, very good. From Nature's Best here.
Which is fine.
They make them on their own, like they make them.
Yeah, because it's just grain and
Yep, make them, bag them, sell them. They make dog biscuits and cat
even
biscuits. And
cats. Jesus. Pigs are omnivores. They're omnivorous, the same as humans. They basically make them vegetarians, so they're not too bitey.
Yeah.
So they don't get too fat.
How's it fine?
Because it's illegal to feed them scraps.
Yes.
So we never do, ever. But certainly
our
feeding
pigs
them.
are not in any way, shape, or form in the system. If you know what I mean, like, because isn't it like?
This is where we cut this bit out.
No, but I mean, if you're sending them off to slaughter, you're not allowed to feed them meat, like, because there's diseases and shit, right?
You're not allowed to. Full stop.
Full stop. Right.
Full stop.
Okay.
So,
I don't really.
And we don't really. You know, bit sneaks
They
in.
get bagels.
I'm sure they're meat bagels.
No, it's all the
but
vegan,
they certainly
vegan
don't
shit
get,
at the supermarket that no one wants.
They
the pigs
do.
get.
They do get scraps, but they tend not to get meat scraps.
It's mostly veggie. Yeah.
But a little bit sneaks in. But you know, it's not like you're feeding pigs.
Oh God, no.
No.
Actively make sure that we don't do that, because that's bad. Like, I don't want you to
bad.
feed humans to me. Thank you very much.
Prion disease.
Anywho.
Anyway, so yes, that was the pigs, and that was the heat. So that's the other. So today's podcast will be called the complaints department, because all we're going to do is whinge and bitch today about not things necessarily in Tasmania, but did we mention the UV down here the last podcast? Yeah. So it's bloody hot again today. So, but to put it into perspective, it's 30 degrees, and we both are from Sydney. I've also lived in Melbourne. I've measured in Melbourne on the what do they call it? Is it Black Saturday now? When the Kinglake fires were, I measured in my backyard in Epping, in Melbourne, 50 degrees Celsius. And in Sydney over the last few years, not really the last few years, but the few years before that, we had like a week of plus 40. We were
indoors for a whole week with the aircon on. That's when we got the aircon put in.
Yeah, because the year before,
aircon.
Really big aircon. Because I said to you at that time, it's just like, because we'd never really needed it.
Like 10 grand aircon.
Yeah, it was
ducted into every room and lovely.
Which isn't that much, but I remember saying at the time where it was hot, because I couldn't get it. Like I started ringing around and get aircon, and they'd just laugh at you and go, "You're at the end of a very long queue, mate." Because it was like, I'll cut you a check for 30 grand today.
Yeah.
Because we had a shitty, and when I bought that house, they had a shitty split systems in it, and one of them packed it in, and I just went, because it wasn't too bad, and I thought, no.
But it was an open plan house, so it didn't really, like, you couldn't close all the doors off and make it really cold. It just kind of filtered around a bit. And then my brother-in-law works in aircon, so cash job.
Yes, and still cash job. It was still 10 grand, wasn't it? Yes, anyway,
here
so
it's like 40 with the UV.
Well, that was the reason why I mentioned it. So, setting up our credentials for knowing when it's fucking hot, and here 30 is like that.
Yeah.
Where
I always had 10 degrees.
It is the driest of dry heat, and the UV is always off the charts. You burn in moments. So that's where you said me coming in.
I've got my bloody. I didn't.
That I look a bit red, but it might also just be from
blood pressure.
Blood pressure.
So,
despite having lost already a bit of weight and still on angiotensin inhibitors, my blood pressure's still high.
So, what have you got first on your complaints department list?
Right. So first of all, this is the long one, and I'll try and give it the précis because you've heard it, you know all about it, but this is for the benefit of our dear listeners. So yes, and I must say, and to the point that I might actually edit this if it actually slips out, I'm not going to mention the make or the model of the vehicle or the companies responsible. So don't ask.
So just car?
Yes, car and service people
service
in Hobart
one,
and service people in
2.
Launceston. That's fine. Yep. There's plenty of car yards that you can talk about. Which reminds me to write a note for later.
Going through, is it? No.
So anyway, what is it, like a month ago now, 3 weeks ago, 1
month, just shy of a month.
Right, okay. So probably about 7 or 8 weeks, no, not even that long ago, so maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago, started noticing a bit of a noise in the back of the car. To this shade tree mechanic, it's like it's either a wheel bearing or a tail shaft centre bearing. That's exactly what it sounded like. So just a tiny little knock, only when coasting. Went away when accelerating, went away when braking. You know, so I thought, might be a slightly loose caliper or something. So I get under the car and check the wheel, check the thing. It all seems okay. It's going to be a centre bearing or some sort of bearing. Weeks go by. We book it in to get it looked at and fixed because this car's new. It's still under warranty.
I couldn't get it in for
a while, which is another
bit.
complaint here, that you just can't get anything serviced. So the week before it's meant to go in, we're on the way to the airport. We're doing 110 kilometres an hour, and the rear back wheel comes off.
And as I've said, very lucky that you were driving, because I have no experience with that, and I immediately would have hit the anchors.
In which case you would have ripped the car in half.
Yeah.
So, but you contributed, because what stopped me from hitting the anchors, you were going, the back wheel's coming off, and I went, okay. And then it's not my first rodeo when it comes to wheels coming off cars. I've had 2 other cars have wheels come off of them over the time. I have a long, sad history with being
poor. You didn't say proud history.
No, with shitty cars. So I had a Mini Moke shear off the... Absolutely just a manufacturing fault from 1974, I think that thing was. And the wheel, so it just sheared off the end, and the wheel went, I'm driving along at 80, and the Mini Moke, and the wheel just goes, boo, straight out there, and then it was like right out the front of a funeral parlour, which I thought was fairly convenient, and went and picked up my wheel and chucked it in the car.
Waited for the tow truck?
No, I can't remember how I got it home. I probably did get it towed. I think I had tow truck money by then. And then I had so that wasn't my fault. It was just one of those things, just genuine mechanical failure. Short of X-raying the CV joint, you wouldn't know that it was going to fail where it failed. Like, it failed right at the end. I've never seen, like, on the spline of the shaft.
Just fault.
A fault. Never seen a hairline crack, fault. God only knows. But another one was my fault. I did forget to tighten up the wheels on a car that I just replaced an entire front end on. Like, so I'd massive job.
Got distracted.
Engine out. No, just basically I've gone to put the wheels on, and obviously I've gotten distracted and come back. So pro tip, kids, check the wheels. Anyway, so the wheel comes off the car. A car that I've never put a fucking spanner on, under warranty. So what happened at this dealer that sold this car to us in Hobart was that when we took it in for the service last time, there was a big gouge out of the side of the tyre. We live on a farm. We've scraped up against a rock or something in it, so there's a gouge out of the tyre, making the tyre not roadworthy, unsafe, wouldn't pass a pink slip. Not that Tasmanians know what a pink slip is. Anyway, so we said to them, when we put the car in, you're going to need to swap that with the thing.
Yep, no service problem. Notes.
Write it down. Fine. We picked the car up later in the day. I should go and close those just in case the wind is affecting the microphone. Give me 2 seconds.
From that far?
Yeah, I can feel it blowing across the front of me.
I think it's nice.
2 seconds.
But okay.
Yes, it is, but our listeners come first.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Our one listener comes first.
Yes, we have a duty of care to our 16 subscribers, where 2 of them are probably us. Right, anyway, so...
We mentioned it, it's on the service notes.
On the service
we came back.
The
same tyres back on the car with the gouge.
They hadn't done it. So I went back in and said to the girl, they haven't done it. And she said, they said it didn't need it. And I went, bullshit. Go get me the mechanic that said it didn't need it, because I guarantee you he hasn't seen it. So she's like, and okay. So she goes and gets him, and they come out. And I went, and again, not to be too racist, but, this guy was fresh. All their mechanics were fresh off the boat. They were Chinese guys. Their English was pretty terrible.
But they should have a manager.
Of course.
Oversees their work.
Of course, but yeah, of course. Of course, but it was also just a case of, these weren't, just coming from a
F1 team.
Yeah, or a proud long
History of
working at. Well, I started at Daimler Benz and then I went to Rolls Royce.
Oh.
Like these were
Newbies.
Fresh off the boat guys. Yeah, bless them. But these are how these stereotypes get started. Anyway, so she comes out and he looks at it and he goes, "Oh," and I went, "Yeah." And then we go back inside. This girl then, so this is the first, like weird bit of Tassie. She just starts gushing at me. I told them to do it, and they told me, and they don't listen to me, and and we've got no quality control, and there's no manager. He's fired. So
Tassies are a bit of oversharers at some points. Yeah.
They really can be, and it was just like, okay, thanks for letting me know, but
can you not? No.
Can you not? So anyway, so clearly, this is the wheel that came off. So when it came off and we rang the people, rang the service, I keep nearly saying the people that manufactured the car. So when we rang the service sticker, they say, "Oh, you're going to have to be in the car." And it's just like, we're on the way to the airport. We're in Sydney. Like, we're done. Because I think you rang them.
I got my full Karen on.
Yeah.
Because she kept saying, you need to be with the vehicle. I'm like, I'm in Sydney because I was on the way to the airport. There's no difference with me being there. The car needs to be towed. The wheel is off.
Yeah, it's a salvage job. And again, this was a call centre out of the Philippines somewhere.
No.
Wasn't it? I thought it was.
No,
really?
no. It was an Aussie
Australian
chick
accent?
somewhere.
Really?
I don't know where the hell she was.
Oh, I thought it was. Again.
And I just went, I'm done talking to you. I need to speak to your manager.
And that never happened.
Because I said I got my full Karen on, and then they said they were going to call me back, and they never did. But I got my full Karen on and said, your car nearly killed me this morning. I'd really like it if you could help me get it off the side of the highway.
And then my argument was, which you did also say, it's just like, and even if I was there, I'm not going out there. I've seen the YouTube videos,
I can't help the tow truck man.
Yeah, and I've seen what happens when people stand out
on the side of the highway,
on the side of the freeway.
Yeah.
Or it's a highway. Tassie doesn't have freeways.
Yeah.
You get cleaned up. There's some other idiot on their phone. I mean, that happens
Side note
time and time again.
We had an Uber guy come and pick us up on the highway, which was hilarious. I gave him a tip for coming to get us because he must have got this thing, and I even wrote the notes. Yes, we are on side of highway. Weird pickup.
Anyway, so we go to Sydney.
So that's the tyre that came off.
So while we were there, I ended up ringing the service manager of the people that sold us the car, and
because
he said,
our car was still sitting on the side of a highway and no one wanted to deal with it.
And I briefly explained him the problem, and I briefly explained that it's our opinion that you're responsible for this. Wasn't being an asshole about it at all. And he's like, all right, let me get back to you. He's gone away. He's obviously spoken to some people, possibly including the girl that is their service chick, and he's come back and said, don't worry about it, we're going to take care of everything, it's all going to be good. I said, thanks. He said, I'll ring you back when when we have the car in our possession and all this sort of stuff. I was like, no problem.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Cool. Might have needed a penis to speak to him.
Clearly.
Because that's another complaint for here, time and time again. It's just like, I'm sorry, is there a man?
I'll put that on my list. Anyway,
yes.
Keep going.
So, right. So anyway, all good. A little bit of argy-bargy where they're obviously in some of the emails backwards and forwards getting them to fix it because they've gone, despite we're not 100% certain that we're responsible, we think that we're going to, in the interests of things, like, yeah, whatever you need to say, buddy, that's fine, no problem.
Thank you. Just fix it.
Didn't quite get to the point of, well, the girl, let's just say that the girl who served me was quite distinguished for Tasmania, i.e. she was not a white girl, so I can't remember her name, but I can say the pretty
Indian girl,
the pretty young
Indian,
yeah, something a bit like subcontinental, pretty girl, pretty very helpful, far too sharing of information girl that served me. Well, we'll have a talk to her in court, and remember, it's only 50.1%, guys. Didn't come to that. All good, not yet anyway. So car gets. I don't think there was anything in between there, so a little bit of argy-bargy, but nothing big. Car gets fixed, go and pick it up this morning.
Weeks. Takes weeks here.
Weeks and weeks and weeks have passed. COVID, waiting on parts, all the
COVID?
usual.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, there's a backlog in parts, and all the usual excuses.
Cool.
Whatever. Cool. Go and pick the car up. Still haven't managed to find a fifth wheel. So that was the only other thing where it came back to. They said, "Oh, that's right. I've missed a whole another bit." So they've got the car. Yep, your car's ready to pick up. And I said, "Okay, cool. What did you do about the gouge out of the wheel? Because I know you've had to use the spare that's in there." Gouge out of the wheel? And it's like, yeah, this is what started this whole thing. Like, and that was in the emails of where I said, here's why I know you're culpable, is because of this damned gouge out of the wheel. And
turns out Hobart people hadn't spoken to Launceston people, so Launceston people, well, that's what they say.
That's what they said.
Launceston people didn't know anything about the gouge, and they put the same tyre back on. The gouge tyre was sitting on the car. It was now back on the fourth wheel spot.
The thing that started this whole damned thing off in the first place.
So we're like, right, well, if you're happy for us to drive on a gouge wheel, are we going to do this all again in a month's time?
So they said no. Then they said we'd need to pay for 2 new tyres.
Because they don't exist anymore, these
and
ones.
There was
and
difficulty and blah, blah. Anyway, so I said to them, well, it's my view that you at least owe me 1 tyre. And you can't just replace 1 tyre. They've got to replace them at least in pairs. So how about, as a courtesy to me for not chucking my toys out of the cot, because during all this time I've played it with a very straight bat. With no effing and blinding, no threatening of anything, just no, we disagree, we feel that you should do this. And then instantly they've always come back and went, okay. And similarly to 2 new tyres and a wheel alignment, they've come back with, okay. Fine.
So
we go and pick the car up. So now we're dealing with the Launceston Service Department of this unnamed brand. Fine, go and pick it up. Bit weird, but fine. She gave me a block of chocolate. Didn't tell you that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, great.
They're new, so that might be their new thing.
So that's great. A bill wasn't forthcoming.
I'll have the chocolate, thanks.
So all is well. It's good to have the car back. Still waiting on a wheel from the other people, but it's not the end of the world, right? I'll drive without a spare. I go to Bunnings, which is a whole other complaint, which I'm sure will come before we're over. Walk back, massive dent in the back of this car. Well, massive is a massive dent when you see it. In the afternoon, you can see that the whole back quarter's creased. So they knew this. They knew they had to have body work done. So I give these people in Launceston a ring, the woman that I just spoke to, and said, hey, did
you say hey?
Hi.
You're not a hey person.
No, I'm
Hi.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Good evening.
Yes.
So I said, hey, did you actually take this car to the panel beaters? Yeah, to the panel beaters, because there's a big fucking dent in the back of it. And yeah, the whole back quarter's all creased. There's still stuff. Oh yeah, we can't. It's irreparable. I said, I beg your pardon, and she said, it can't be fixed. And I said, what do you mean it can't be fixed? It's the rear quarter on a ute, like. And in my head, it's like, it's a fucking quarter of a ute.
Get your hammer out.
Yeah, it's not a fucking brain tumour in the centre of the brain.
It's terminal.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, because that was the other thing, because all the voices in my head, one's going, it's not a fucking brain tumour, and the other one's going, so we're writing the car off, are we? Like it's done, it's not repairable. Anyway, so I managed to suppress those voices in my head and just said, well, no, that's not good enough. And she said, I'm going to put you over to our service manager. This is above my pay grade. And I went, right, well, and this is the bit where all this just gets just shitty and skeevy and chatty and crappy, and not quite sleazy. I'm not quite finding the right words for it. And then I go, well, as it happens, weird. I'm actually coming down the road. I'm not too far from you guys. If you want to tell him, I'll pop it in so we can have a look at it and we can talk about it. Oh no, he's all across it. And I go, what do you mean? And she says, we've both looked at it and we were both not satisfied with it. And
yes,
I said,
they gave it to you this morning and didn't say shit.
And didn't say anything. And I just said...
And you didn't notice it because
you don't notice a dent like that, like where it's a crease in the back of a thing.
It's the passenger side too,
it's
so
the passenger
you're not getting in that side.
They drove it out on the other side.
Yeah.
It's like the old trick with a pink slip, and you've got chips in your window. You'll go and get your pink slip done on a rainy day, so they don't notice.
With dots, yeah.
You got chips out of your windscreen. So I said to her, "What were you just hoping I wouldn't notice?" "Oh, we thought it was good enough, but we weren't, blah blah blah." And you just hear it going, and I went, "All right, we'll have him ring me, because clearly this is above your pay grade." Dodgy. There's the word I'm looking for. Time passes. I keep driving. I'm fuming. I give you a ring and just say, "I've got a vent," like I'm venting again now.
All I could say was, "Wow."
Yeah, and then I start writing an email. Very straight bat. "Dear so-and-so, right, I've been led to believe this is irreparable. I disagree. What do we do now? Because everyone involved accepts that this is a part of the accident. An accident is part of the negligence. Because again, I'm trying to play this with a really straight bat. I'm trying to catch more flies. I'm not being sugary sweet by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But I'm just going, no, that's not...
Tough but fair.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think that's factual. We need to do something else. I suggest this or this." Anyway, so I'm writing that.
Mid-writing,
she rings me up and she says, "Can you take it to like this Asian ding joint? Like, because I'm not leaving all the things out of it.
Gotcha.
But the U-Bilute guy, which was the guy that I was going to take it to before, because this was the bit that I forgot about. The other part of that conversation, she said it's irreparable, and I said, well, that's not good. No, I'll take it there. We took it to the best. Tassies always do this. Oh, he's the best. We took it to the best body shop. Like, our guy is the best in the state.
Clearly not. He can't get a dent out of a panel.
And this is the only one he's never been able to do.
Wow.
And I said, what if it was a Mercedes?
Yeah.
Like, this
No, what if it was my Aston Martin?
Yeah, this also isn't this car that we're talking about.
Martin.
This car that we're talking about isn't the cheapest car. It's a middle of the road car.
Go and get me a new panel then.
Yeah.
Go and buy me a new panel and put it on.
Yeah. This car, I can't remember what we paid for it. It was between 40 and 50 grand new. Like, it wasn't.
It wasn't big.
It wasn't like a $16,000 runabout. And even so, it shouldn't matter. No. It was broken. It needs to be fixed, and it should be to an acceptable standard. And we didn't break it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Cool. So I forgot that bit. So anyway, so she said, take it to this.
Take it to the other guy.
Take it to the other guy. Apparently, there's one guy better than the best guy. So. Again, this is all the voices in my head are going, oh, so this bodywork is actually the penultimate.
Why do they overcomplicate everything?
Why do they think they were going to get away with it?
That's so dodgy.
That's
why I kept saying, wow.
You can see it. It's just one of those dints where... because it's basically... The dint's about, people, about this big. Like, it's about a foot across. Like, it's a big indentation and it's a crease. Like, it'll be a bitch to get straight. And it's a black car, right? All these things is when you see it...
I would guess that... they were rushing and that he said he can't do it in a certain time period. Whereas we had said, no worries, just get it back on the road and we'll book it in later for the tyre or for bodywork. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
We need it because we need it. And we need it to be drivable. As long as it's drivable.
It's the bar's car. The bar needs it because he picks up the rubbish.
Yeah. My Jimny stinks. Thanks very much.
And we have other cars, which is another complaint about Tasmania, because this is the complaints department episode. They'll fucking kill you on those roads out there.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, they will run you off the road. I've been run off... Within the last week, I've been run off the road. They don't care. There's meth. They're drunk. They don't care. The Tasmanian car fleet is the shittiest, oldest car fleet.
You don't have to get your car checked.
Ever.
As long as you keep paying your rego. Is this right?
As long as the rego doesn't run out by more than 3 months. Or maybe 1 month now.
God, really?
But yeah, so there's like say
a window of grace.
The car, yes, they call it a period. Like so you'll see ads for cars. Oh yeah, so you'll see ads for cars that'll be unregistered but within period.
Right.
So
it's so dodgy.
So they'll back. So let's say
there's a whole industry they could be making money off here, and they don't.
Well,
anyway,
so the way. We're used to New South Wales. So New South Wales, proper police states, get your car checked. So they used to do it. Used to be really good. You get a brand new car and you'd have to take it in and get a pink slip. Now you get like 5 years of grace.
Warranty.
Basically the warranty time.
Yep.
And you Yeah, and you have to do it every year. Pink slips. In Victoria, you've never lived in Victoria. Unfortunately, I have. It's when the car changes hands.
Okay.
You have to get a roadworthy certificate.
All right, cool.
So when you're buying cars in Victoria, it'll
like
say
a reds check, you get a roadworthy as well.
it's basically a pink slip.
Make sure it's not
It's a
stolen.
pink slip. It's probably a little bit more than a pink slip.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So a little bit beyond I'm out of touch.
Pink slips are $50 in New South Wales.
Yeah.
Well, they were
And-
last time I did one.
And I've never I haven't.
And they usually put your windscreen wiper blades on at the same time just to get some
slightly-
extra money
and
for
s-
you.
and slightly adjust your handbrake and charge you $40 for it. It's been ages since I've ever had to worry about shit like that.
But yeah,
Like when I was in the factory with the company cars and things, there was a
Don't worry.
mechanic there, and it's just like, don't care, send me a bill.
yeah. But yeah, in Tassie, so you don't get your car checked ever.
Ever, as long as it hasn't
So
gone out of
there's
rego.
rusty shit boxes that shouldn't be on the road.
Bald wheels.
Oh my god.
Yep. So they say.
And lots of poor people, so lots of poor cars.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it used to be. I actually think it's improved because I remember seeing a car going down Invermay Road that had all of its sills missing, like completely rusted out, and it's just like that goes over. If that went over a speed hump at 10 kilometres an hour, the whole car would just go. But I digress. So anyway, so that's where we left it. So she wants me to take it to
Another dude.
another guy, and they're going to do it,
And pay for it.
and they're going to pay for it, and it's fine because I checked. I said I've got two things for you. Right, they're still going to pay for it. Yes, we're all still paying for it. I get the impression that they might have bought them. I'm sniffing that they might.
Who's bought who?
That the manufacturer
Hobart?
that she'll be. That I think maybe Launceston has bought Hobart, and the
Right.
Launceston, like this is complete conjecture, but maybe the Launceston place, which is a much bigger firm. It's a part of a bigger firm.
I did notice how big that was this morning when we went and picked it up.
Yeah,
Didn't
so
realise it went all the way down the street.
I reckon that the other one, they might have
They've taken the
maybe
contract?
they've taken over that brand in this state.
Interesting.
So
We were very happy about that too. They were doing so well up until the point where they started being fucking dodgy because we've had to take
this one,
the vehicle
yeah.
down to Hobart to get it serviced because there's nowhere in the North Estate. And that was another thing when we bought it. Yeah, you can get it serviced and it was like,
we've got
it's like, no. So we've had to drive up and down to Hobart.
So for all that stuff, because often you get, Tassie's a really small place and you better mind your P's and Q's. No, it's still dodgy as shit. So anyway, but all I did say to her, I said, like, okay, and then I said, no, a second thing, here, I'll give you some feedback, and I'm not trying to rub your nose in it, and this is exactly what I said. I said, I'm profoundly disappointed that this is where we're at. Knowing what you know that I've been through with this car, and that you didn't put even you missed the gouge on the wheel. Oh, but it had mud on the top. I understand that, but you know. And
Hose
here
it
we
off?
are, and now I'm just going. Oh, that was the excuse. Oh, we didn't see it because it had mud on it, and I'm just going. I'm getting a lot of excuses out of you, and I'm just going.
Not filling me with confidence here.
Yeah. So now I can't take it where I used to take it because they're negligent and culpable, and now I can't take it to you because I don't
Stop
trust
tapping
you.
the table.
Sorry. So
You're bouncing things.
bounce you in a minute.
Anyway,
yeah. So that's where we're at. So yes. So next week I'm taking
so
it
complaint number one.
So that's complaint number one. We've got more, but part of the complaint number one that I mentioned, again, place it because I also thought, well, fuck it, I'll just sell this thing and buy a bloody Ford, Mazda, Mitsubishi, something else, something bigger, something where there's like 10 places even here that I can get it serviced. But one of those places had a works outing in our bar, and one of those people pissed in our hallway.
That was my email. Yeah.
And so that's the quality of the individual there. So this was a guy, they were not drunk. It was early in the night.
This isn't a complaint.
This is a complaint.
Is it?
So that's the point. They just decided, the toilets are full, so I'm just going to keep walking, go around the corner and piss in the hallway in front of the cameras. And no, I'm going to have to edit that out.
Didn't you just say different brands?
Yes, I said 5 brands, and I said one of them.
Oh.
So there'll be a beep of which one. And yeah, no, I didn't. The camera's right there, buddy. So
Yeah,
and
just
then,
laziness.
And you got your
Entitled shit.
Yeah, just an entitled shit. And this is one of the few times we've done this. We actually sent the footage because it was a works outing.
Not you, me.
Yes, you. I said we. All right, not
Yeah,
us.
me.
You.
Because I was like, no, that is unacceptable behaviour. When you said to me they weren't drunk.
No, like it was sociopathic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in work uniform.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where
So
we knew where they were.
I
where they were
forwarded
from.
that on to his boss.
Yeah.
And
he didn't get sacked.
No, he didn't. Okay, cool.
No.
I didn't ask for him to be sacked.
No, we didn't ask for it either. We just said, "Is this your brand ambassador?"
Yes.
And he'd written back, and I've spoken to him and let him know that that's not acceptable.
And he told
blah,
him
blah.
to apologise to me, and he sent me an email because I didn't want to talk to him, and blah blah blah. I said, I don't want you to call me.
No.
I don't want to talk to you.
Why would I?
Yeah. Don't piss in my hallway. And we're good. But don't come back. Cultural differences.
All
Anyway,
right, your
cool.
turn. So that's my big rant about. So yeah,
It's not-
just complaining, just ranting into the wind. But
My day was just a bit of a shit show, that's all. But my main complaint is that I had to go to 5 different supermarkets today to get my list of things.
I wonder if it's this bad everywhere.
I don't know.
Still.
Please let us know if it is. So, and there's
Hit subscribe. Comment below.
what is it, the bell or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
I had to go to, and that was across Woolworths and Coles.
Yeah.
So yeah, every shop I went to, there was one thing that I couldn't get. So I was trying to get it at the next shop, and then they didn't have one other thing, so I just kept going. So it took me 2 hours to go and do something which I thought was going to take me 20 minutes. Fucking shit.
Again, it's got a.
And then, so then I had a whole box of Bundaberg ginger beers fall out of the back of my car and smash and fizz and pop everywhere. That was good. So that's when I got to stabbing level of get me the fuck out of here. And then I managed to also drive over my hot dog buns that I'd bought. So so I was not a happy camper.
So visitors to the bar might find the hot dogs a little
Oh
crunchy.
God! So yeah, I was like, could today get any worse? So anywho.
No, so that was my only complaint.
Oh, and I bought myself an oven tray and it doesn't fit in my fucking oven.
It's just been a festival of pain. So at Bunnings, did I tell you this? So I went again. You can't make this stuff up.
Bunnings! No, not Bunnings.
So this morning, when I bought you your
Rust-Oleum.
Rust-Oleum, wonderful stuff. Have it on my toast if I could.
Yep.
So again, no exaggeration. You can't it's the stuff of bad fiction. I go there and he's checking the stuff out, and I've got 4 bags of cement, this, that, all this other stuff, and he looks up at me and says, "Are you over 18?"
Oh God, for the spray can.
And then I went, "What?" And he said, "Are you over 18?" And I said, "What do you think?"
Did he have eyeballs?
So I'm in full farmer mode. I've got the hat on, all the rest of it. I'm fucking 47.
How old was he? Was he retarded?
No. Well, yes, clearly he works at Bunnings. 20s. He wasn't a 14 9 months.
How can he not tell that you're over 18?
The plot thickens.
Oh God.
So I said, "What do you think?" And he's going, "Oh, it doesn't something like it doesn't matter what I think. You need to say it for legal purposes."
Oh my God.
And I said, "I identify as a meat popsicle. Sell me the fucking spray paint, council." And he just dude just spray, and I just thought, which I didn't add because I just went, I just look at him and just went, "This is why people yell at you."
This is why people
I
hate
get
you.
it. I get it, because how many times do I do it? Like when you walk from the checkout to the door Nazi, and
It's not even a metre.
Without exaggeration, it is definitely less than 6 meters. It is from this corner of the room to that corner of the room, right away.
Not even.
And you can see them. I'll cut them a pass if they're looking at the trees or something, or but they're looking at you, and you see them looking at you as you walk from the checkout, not the self-checkout, from the one human checkout that's open.
I don't even stop anymore. I just wave my thing at them. Kmart as well. Kmart, here you go, another complaint. Kmart's the same. But their checkout's in the middle.
Right. Yeah, well, let's come back to that one.
Yeah.
But because what I'll see when they're looking at it, it's like, what have I stolen between there and there?
There's no shelves.
And they're going, and they go, oh, it's not about that, are we? I just have
Bullshit.
to check it, and I just go, all right, I know, I'm just doing my job, and my standard response to that always is, that's what the Nazis said at Nuremberg. Now, saying this to Gen Y,
They don't even know what you're talking
or
about.
Gen Z,
This
Zoomers,
is so dumb.
they don't know. And you want to say, well, you know, that was the excuse.
Read a
and
book.
It didn't work out so well for soldiers in Germany. Bit unfair at the lower ranks, but life ain't fair. Anyway, so that often gets, the older ones, that gets a rise out of them. But when they say shit like that, it's like, mate, unless you want to be replaced with
Software.
really simple software,
Yeah.
like, just come on, just be a human.
It's a larger
And
symptom.
I know
of a
they get
larger
shitty with
problem.
me, but when you say,
I'm
say,
just doing
what do you
my
think?
job.
You know, and I'm still being like, I didn't go, you know, what do you think? You know, like I just say, what do you think? You know, like just
That's what comes around to the no one deserves a serve
yes,
campaigns.
yes, you do.
Because of shit like that, you do. I'm sorry. You need to speak up about ridiculous shit. And if you have enough complaints about something, you should change it.
And have a bit of feedback.
And I whinge every time. As I said, I don't even stop. I just wave shit at them. But if they do stop me, I always whinge. Why are you doing this?
In bars, like they say, and bottle shops, if you look under 25, we're going to ask you for ID. You know, I don't look under 25.
It's a spray can.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, you never used to be able to get them out of the thing yourself. Do you remember that?
Well, in Tasmania, they haven't made the law.
No.
So-
Okay. Because that's what I'm used to in Sydney, that it's locked and you have to go and get some
Which
arsehole.
is just as bad.
Yeah.
And then they look at you. Well, which is my other thing, which I've got like 3 or 4 canned sayings which you hear every time in Bunnings, because every time you go and, so if you're in Narellan or something and you're asking for, I need some, like, 'cause you also go over, you don't go over and say, now look here, Tom, I need some spray pen, I need it now. You're going over there and just say, hi, excuse me,
Can I
I
get
need some spray pen. But when they look at you and then go,
well,
and then I
unlock
just
the
go,
cage, you fuckwit.
and then it's like, mate, if you didn't want to work at Bunnings, well, maybe you shouldn't have fucked around in high school so much. Maybe you should have knuckled down. And if you wanted to compose violin concertos and you're a loss to Baroque music, then, yeah.
Yeah. I said, apologies to my sister-in-law because she works at Bunnings, but I think you have to be, I think there's a box on the form that says, are you a dickhead? And you check it and off you go, you're employed.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, Jesus
Maybe one
Christ.
or two have snuck through. There's
Doubt
the,
it.
but
No,
I really
she can
do-
be, like,
oh yeah,
she can be a full Karen.
yeah. Could you imagine?
She's the union rep.
Not to be specific, ladies and gentlemen, but yes, that's where I'm going.
But anyway.
No. But that's like, because the other one, because of course I mentioned it on Twitter, which I treat as a diary, and because like there was one other guy there, which the rudest I've ever been to someone, and I did upset him a bit, but it's just like, because I don't go out of my way to be rude to people, I don't, but it doesn't take much to make me be rude because I'm smart and I'm mean. But like, there's this other guy there, and I can't quite remember what it was, but I just said, like I said, can I help you, sir? And I said, no, I'm fine, thanks, mate. I'm going to do that. And he's going, are you sure? And I'm going, yeah, I'm good, thanks. You know, like it's all good. Well, because I think it was in the electrical department, you know, like in things. And he's like, well, you know, if you need some help, you better ask me because I'm the one that's going to explain this to you. And like, it was egregious. It was beyond a thing. He was having a moment, and I said, this guy was 60. And I said, the only thing...
Excuse me?
Yeah, the only thing you can help me, mate, is you can tell me every decision you've made in your life so I can make sure I haven't made any of the same ones so I don't end up working in Bunnings at fucking 60. Okay? I said no politely 3 times. Now fuck off. Like, oh, this was a couple of years ago. And it's like, and off he goes. And it's like... And that's without me even pulling the... Yeah, I've forgotten more about electrical engineering than you know, fuckface. And I also know, that you're not actually allowed to give any advice on that yet because one of you guys did like 10 years ago and there was a coroner thing and someone fucking died. Oh, it's not that hard to fucking wire a plug and they fucking killed themselves. So I even know that. I reckon I knew that before you even started at Bunnings, assuming you haven't been here since it fucking opened, you know. You were saying.
You've just reminded me of another thing that I had today. So I went to pick up our alcohol from our wholesaler.
This is the complaints department today's episode?
So I drove my car in and I got out of my car and I went to the desk and I paid for my alcohol, and then I had to get back in my car and go around to the back door because they have no facilities at the back door to take any money and no bell or anything. So I got round to the back door and I couldn't...
Are they still doing that? Can't you just pull up at the front and just go, no, I'm not doing that?
No.
Like they're really...
Yeah.
This is a hill they've decided we're fighting on.
Well, apparently, except for the other day where it was closed, like I went on a Wednesday and they said, oh, we'll just bring it to the front because the doors are not open. And I just looked at them and I didn't say it because I bit my tongue. The last chick that I was in here told me adamantly that I had to go to the back door every single time. So has that changed again? Anyway, so I pull up the back door, couldn't see a human, so I just walked in and I'm looking at all the things going, not mine, not mine, not mine. So I start to take my trolley. I get told off by the old guy, oh, you can't just walk in here and take your stuff. And I turned around and went, well, there's no one here and there's no bell. And he goes, we can't have a bell because people fuck with it or play with it or something. And I went, okay. And he goes, and you can't come in and take your stuff because we've had people walk in and take stuff. And I just looked at him and he started to say it a third time and I went, it's all good, I understand. And then he took his piece of paper and then started to stack it and I went, no, it's all good. And then pushed my trolley out.
And did it yourself.
And took myself. But yeah, I'm like, breathe. You just keep fucking up the order and giving it to me and I'll just keep turning up.
So, let's definitely out this one because this I think is quite interesting. So these morons, the reason why we put up with... Because, dear listener, you might be saying, why isn't Bradley instantly going... Why are you putting up with this shit?
And he was the nice one too. He's the old bloke.
Well, he's the one that... Well, he's also the 60-year-old...
He mansplained to me today, and I almost went, do you know what?
And do you know why, dear listener, she didn't? And I'll explain for two reasons. One, the Tasmanian thing. There's no other fucking option.
No.
That's it. Like, so you have to eat a dick time and time again because it's like, I'll just go to the other hole. Oh, there isn't one.
No.
So that's a big problem. The second thing is, these dickheads, it's so funny, they keep carrying on about, we're doing this and all the rest of it. We have received, without exaggeration, $1,000 worth of alcohol free where they've made a mistake on the order.
That's a bit much.
How many free cases have we been given?
A few.
Quite a few.
5 or 6? 6 or 7? Maybe more.
I'm thinking nearly 10.
Okay.
So that alone now, that's $500 before we start.
True.
There's been extra bottles and things. And
wrong bottles,
yeah, extras and things like this, where including one guy
standing there staring at us, telling us how he doesn't get it wrong.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. As he's putting the wrong shit.
As we on one order, that was one order. There was 3 cases. Of
beer that shouldn't be there.
That shouldn't have been there. Completely extra. As he's going, we never make mistakes, and we're just sitting there just going...
That's why I bit my tongue.
Yeah, so that's why.
Because I'm like, okay, it's all good.
So the first one are dodgy, the second ones are entitled and willful staff, and then the third ones are...
retarded.
Basically retarded.
They've got some nice girls at the front now, so I was having a chat to them, but yeah.
Well, that's also a part of the Great Reset, where so many people, the Great Resignation, I should say, the Great Reset's a bigger issue.
Staff turnover.
Not that I believe in that.
Staff turnover's big.
Is the staff turnover.
Yeah.
So they've all gone. They've all left, and they're chasing their dreams.
So that old boy's still there. That's the only one I recognise. The rest of them are all new.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how you managed to do that. You say, you speak to me like that again, and we're all going to find out the hard way our relative social economic differences.
So anyway, but yeah, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, get out of my fucking face.
It's so frustrating, that sort of stuff. Like, I get frustrated.
And I'm going to come in and do the same thing next time when you're not here to take me at the back door because you make me fuck around. I have to get out of my car twice, and that's why the other day when it was raining, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. You can bring the trolley up the front. Oh, but you can reverse it. I don't care.
Yeah, well, I just think you go into...
Get out and...
So I would suggest... It's up to you. We've definitely been getting more free shit out the back where they've made more mistakes.
So I think I'm just going to go to the back door. I'm not going to go into the front and pay. I'll just transfer the money. But anyway, I don't know. And then my card didn't work. My Westpac card, another complaint. Every second time it doesn't work.
Just with them or just full stop?
Well, I didn't try it or anything out. Just with them, I think.
So it's them.
So, yeah. And then
I've never
did
had a
my
problem
personal card and it was fine. So, anywho.
So they think we're broke.
I don't care. I'm not.
So I've covered most of my thing. The other fun day today, I went into one of those rural shops.
Oh, you did?
Yes, looking for something. Because this is another thing, dear listener, when you move to other states. Now, when you're trying to build houses...
I need more wine.
And...
No, I'll wait.
You wait?
Yep.
I think we're nearly...
Yeah,
are we nearly done?
Yeah, it's 49. We're nearly done.
So the other thing that you have to come to terms with in Tasmania and other states which you move to, but Tasmania particularly, especially since Tasmania is, I've always considered to be overseas for pussies. It's a different country and it's not a different country. But certainly the attitudes can be quite different.
50 years ago.
It's just 50 years ago. Yeah. There's different... So when you're working within any industry thing, certainly most of them I've seen, there's different words for things. So there's different words for... Like different slang especially for whichever widget item you want to buy from... Especially if you're asking... If you're dumb enough to ask for help in Bunnings, I want some concrete mesh... what do we call them? What do we call them in New South Wales?
Rio.
Yeah, the Rio spaces. They go under that concrete. Oh, bar chairs. You want bar chairs? So
chairs.
So there's
feet. The Rio feet.
I forgot. It's so bad.
You're Tasmanian now.
This was on from my first tour of duty, not the other. But it's upset me so much. It's erased what we used to call them in New South Wales. But yeah, they're just Rio stands.
Yeah.
Bar chairs. It's like
different names for everything.
I could stand here for an infinitely long amount of time, minus 1 minute, and I wouldn't guess bar chairs is what you call them. Anyway, so there's different words for things, and there's just some stuff they don't have. So I went in there and I said, right, I want some slotted ag pipe. Oh no, we don't carry that. Why not? Oh, we don't use that for anything here. Okay, how about? Because I said, well, I actually don't want that. What I really want is the half. Again, it's what in New South Wales you call ag pipe, which is just the half pipe that you use in transpiration beds, which I don't even know what word they use for transpiration beds here, but it ain't transpiration beds.
I don't think they have transpiration beds. They just let the shit flow.
We've got 5 of them on a house, a 2-bedroom house, but that's another complaint. Oh no, we don't carry that as well. It's like, I'm used to it now. I'm just going, okay, that's fine. We get asked for it a lot. Yeah, sure you do.
Why don't you get some in, you fuckwit? Oh,
then you walk around the shop. There's 6 people. Again, these are these shops that, and we do have them in New South Wales as well. There was one particularly, especially agriculture shops, where you're dealing with the 4th generation milk-fed gimp. So great granddad
was awesome.
He was great, and he was a trailblazer. And granddad, he wasn't too bad. Dad, he had a few troubles.
He just got given it, and then the next one got given it, and then they got given it, and the kids are lazy shits.
And the kids are just literally milk-fed, dribbling idiots.
There to make money.
No.
I mean to get their paycheck.
Yeah, for them to moisten a seat. That's their whole job. Yeah. So that's not completely a Tasmanian thing. That's an agriculture shop thing. But you go in there. They've actually, since I've been in there last, they've removed all the prices from everything. So you go in there, and it's just like...
That drives me mental at any shop.
And I know I'm a cheap bastard, but you're going in there, and I go, well, do I pick up some of these? Well, I don't know how much that... Is that fence strainer...
And there's a Tassie tax.
$6? Or is it $6? Where I'm from, they're $4.
How much did you pay for your Honda thing today?
I don't want to talk about it. $47 for a $9 part.
Because there's a Tassie tax.
Because there's a Tassie tax.
Which you probably don't. So, it's bullshit, but to get anything here, they always use that as an excuse. Oh, well, we've got to get it here. So
I don't know if it's still in place. So back in the day, well, it's actually the opposite, right? So to transport something from the mainland to Tasmania costs more because it has to go by sea. Sea is more expensive than land, like truck or rail. Fine. Because it's usually still on the truck, and so your truck's being put on a boat. Fine. So there was a thing called the Bass Equalisation Scheme. And this is, I'm talking 20 years ago, and what it did was said that the federal government, I'm pretty sure it must be the federal government, Tasmanian state government, couldn't fucking organise a piss up in a brewery. Even when they bought the bloody brewery.
I was about to say they tried to buy one.
Yes.
They just gave them $1 million.
See podcast number 2. So basically the idea of that was they would subsidise the difference between the cost of...
Transportation.
From transportation. So from Melbourne to...
Well, that's gone.
So from no, it's still going to be there. So from Melbourne to Devonport is 400 kilometres. However much that would cost to transport by road, 400 kilometres, the difference to transport by sea will make up the VIG.
Well, then they're adding everything on top.
It's like COVID. Oh, well, this is just dearer because it is. And yeah, with some things, yeah, I'm sure it genuinely is. But...
And people hear it, they're not... What's the word I'm looking for? They're not assertive, our Tasmanians. They just go, oh, well, okay, and they just pay it. They don't question things. They don't ask things. They don't go no.
Well, that's the whole thing.
They really can't say no. They don't like confrontation. They don't handle any of that well. And that brings me around to another complaint. So I saw an article today in The Guardian about how Tasmania and Wentworth in New South Wales and Canberra have the lowest bulk billing rates in the country.
Yes. You know why? Because there isn't a single universal bulk billing clinic on this island.
Nope.
There used to be.
No.
There used to be plenty.
And that, as I said, was just bringing around to my other point, is that the Tassies all think it's normal.
Yes.
And they just go, oh, well, okay, I have to pay $80 to go to the GP.
Or
I just
$150.
$80 is one of the better ones, yeah, $150. And they go, oh, okay, I won't go. And there's a whole article on The Guardian Australia.
And they all go to the hospital and they all sit in ED.
Yep.
And
or
that's
they don't
where they get their or they sit in ED and that's where that's their primary health care.
Because there's a guy being quoted saying his wife, I think they're in Devonport, not sure. She was the only income because he got laid off and he got sick, and they were paying $100 and something to go to the GP every time because the GP couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on. Turns out he had glandular fever. Just kept paying all this money, and I'm like,
and they will bill you with impunity. They don't care. And they carry on. So that's what. So I had an argument with the Tasmanian AMA yonks ago and got it on the local radio station, all the rest of it.
Mike Carlton,
and they were
when
saying,
he was still here.
Yeah. And he was saying, and they were saying, we can't afford it. And I'm like, why not? Is your professional indemnity insurance dearer? Happen to shag someone that used to deal in that sort of stuff, and the answer to that is nope.
Might be now, but
sure, but
it's
wasn't
case by case.
arguing. Yeah, and again, it's not going to be
personal.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
Like the dude in New South Wales who keeps killing people, his is high.
Yes, absolutely. if you're dealing,
he can still get
if you're in obstetrics and really enjoy using the salad servers, then
he wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, so because it was just like the insurance is not any much higher, give or take. The rates of pay are exactly the same. It's a national award. You're paying.
They're high for GPs.
Yeah, but I'm saying...
You're talking GPs or their staff?
I'm talking all their staff.
Oh, okay, sorry, yep.
So, nurses, receptionists, cleaners...
They're low here.
Yeah. No, well, there's the there's the minimum that you have to pay them, which is the same as what the minimum you have to pay for them in New South Wales, right?
Yeah,
now, your rent, free. Absolutely free. Completely free.
Almost free.
Comparatively free.
Yep.
Right?
They do pay something.
There are bulk
Sydney.
billing clinics in Pitt Street in Sydney. You cannot tell me. This was the argument where I didn't get anything but and I'll tell you what the coup de grace was, which he thought was the killing blow for me, but it's like, fuck off. Was, we offered, so we had, which became a bar, we had these things that said, tell you what, if that's your, because they said, it's all rent. Rent's far too expensive. It's landlords and it's all rent, and that's our only problem. So that's where he ended up getting. And I said, okay, I'll make you a deal. If you set up a universal bulk billing clinic for 1 year, I will give you free rent. Done.
And crickets.
No problem. Done. It's right in the centre of town, 100 square metres, no problem. Nice little 2-room consultancy with a modest waiting room. No problem. Done.
Yeah.
Done. Next.
No, nothing. Crickets.
Nothing. But the coup de grace was, what you're describing is 5-minute medicine all around. And I said, people are getting no minute medicine. Or they're sitting there for 9 hours and clogging up the ED.
Yep, they don't care. It's all about money.
To go and to have to get a like an antibiotic shot or something like that.
And save people. Are you really?
No,
really?
You're not. And it's fine. I don't begrudge them making it
There's
clear.
levels of medicine.
Yes.
To go and get a prescription redone, what's it called?
Bare minimum, like a script. Yeah, just a script
refill,
renewal.
With that. I'm pretty healthy.
Yeah. So you'll go to them.
Refill, that's it.
They'll charge you $25 and they'll take the consultancy fee from Medicare.
Yep.
So for that, just going, yep, no problem. So you're like a chronic condition that's absolutely, completely
hasn't changed.
You know, you've got AIDS. Same medicine.
Diabetes.
You've been on it for 10 years. No problem. All the rest of it. They don't check you. They don't do anything. Just put the money right here.
And the average wage, I think I looked this up, for a GP is $180,000 plus.
Yeah.
So they're on good money.
They're on perfectly good money.
So it's not like they can...
Oh, but I went to school for 7 years. Yeah, I went to school for 9.
Yeah.
You know, fine.
Yeah. It's an absolute schmozzle.
Yeah, so...
But Tassie's, coming back to my other point, Tassie's go, oh, well, that's just how...
Not only do they accept it, they argue with you and go, no, it's not like that. Yeah. And I'm going... Yeah, it is. So the running joke. The running joke with the neighbours is, I'll send her photos of me out the front of a bulk billing clinic in Campbelltown or in Pitt Street in Sydney or anywhere
wherever we are.
Wherever we are, it's just going.
Look, bulk billing.
Here we are. Look, bulk billing.
But
and it's a big sign, bulk billing. No out-of-pocket expenses. No appointment necessary. There's one I did in Campbelltown. I took 5 photos of it until she said, "Can you stop sending this?" I'm just going. It's cheaper for you, which it's all coming out in the. It started
we
to
kept
come
saying
out.
that. Get on a plane.
Get on a plane.
Get on a plane.
Get on a plane.
Yeah.
Because when they're taking for your
Years.
17 different coloured children,
And it takes years to get an appointment. Get on a plane.
just get on a plane.
Go and have lunch. Go and see the GP up there.
Yep. And it's
get your
like,
specialist
I'll
up
give
there.
I'll give you an address to use when
And
you
that was
fill out the
also
form.
the article was talking about. They didn't say universal bulk billing. They were just talking about bulk billing. So I'm not sure what data and stats they were looking at. But that's the other thing here is they go, oh yeah, we've got bulk billing.
No, you don't.
And then when you look at how they're doing bulk billing, they're picking and choosing.
They pick and choose winners
They're playing
and losers.
God.
Yep. And they do it, and they definitely do it. So every man and his dog is on the government tit here. And lots of them do have those healthcare cards.
Yep.
Where
So sometimes it'll say healthcare card bulk billed. I saw another one where it said 17 and under bulk billed. And I'm like, really? Or 60 and over bulk billed. I'm like, really? Or just weird shit where they go, oh, we're just going to bulk bill these people, and then everyone else can eat a dick. So
in the poorest state in the country.
yeah, with the worst health and education outcomes.
Yeah.
Let's
But no, they're fine.
No, they're good. Yeah,
And
we like it.
And they've got a medical school down here. They train their old
morons.
quacks. Pardon me. And
Think
what
of
do
how
they
good
what do they
Tassie
get
would
for
be
it?
if they actually
Nothing.
did have good education and good healthcare.
There's no reason why they couldn't. It was brilliant when I was still working in it. But that's a whole argument about the university
Because
system.
people are not well here because of it. Like, yeah, it's all related. Anyway,
Well,
what
that
complaint number 6? No,
Yeah,
no, 7?
well, I was just
Not
about
sure.
to start the other one. So when I was a lecturer, God help it, yes, I was an academic, and yes, the good doctor was teaching the undergraduates
Oh God,
of
we're over an hour.
Tasmania.
We should wrap this up.
We will. I get that I'm hard to work with from time to time.
Me too.
But I was also professional and no problems, and
Do your job.
did my job and had the best settles, which was the way they measured it, ever. Did I get offered a job? Nope.
That's right. You had a penis. This was the one time where you had a penis and you needed a vagina.
I needed a vagina and I needed to be from South Korea.
Yeah.
Because
You need to be a bit more woke too, probably.
Oh, these days I wouldn't last a second.
No, neither would I.
But back then, even then,
Don't you know who I am?
There was a bit of a Zerg flood, and our Korean friends had very much. So even when I worked there was still a Korean guy as the head of the school, and he was all right. But after he went, I think another Korean got installed, and they've instituted a bit of a DMZ, and it's all just women and Korean guys. And it's like, all right, cool.
What were you talking about? Oh,
And none of them, I don't know how many of them, because that's another complaint if I say it really quickly, and none of them have PhDs.
and that was the other thing.
One
I
or
said,
two of them, maybe.
I was
but
about to say,
not
what
many.
we were talking about
Maybe
the
it's
other day
changed
where I
now,
said,
don't
no,
know.
I want the best person for the job. I don't care if it's a man, woman or child. The pilot, the black pilots.
Oh, yeah. But I
Black
don't know
women
how much.
pilots or whatever it was. I don't know what.
How
I didn't
much of
read
that
the
was
article, but
clickbait?
I'm like, I don't want
Should be
fucking
merit-based.
positive... what's it called?
Affirmative action.
Affirmative, because I was going to say positive. Yeah, I don't want my pilot flying my plane to be the one that got the job just because they've got a vagina.
Well,
Thanks
we'll
very
let
much.
We'll let them have the computer science department.
I'm a chick and I'm sick to death of all these fucking women. Like, Jesus.
And does it again? I'm not really quite. I've read The Female Eunuch.
I have not.
But
maybe I should.
Not really.
How is Jermaine going?
Who cares? So I've read The Female Eunuch. So my understanding of feminism is, approximately 1968. But how many people is like, do you want to think, you only got the job because you're a woman, and then half the time you're going, maybe I did, I'm not fucking sure.
Equity versus equality.
Yeah.
I would like to go for the interview and be the best person for the job. I don't want you to give it to me because I'm a woman. I don't want to be a quota. Thanks very much.
But you're a white woman, so you're not worth as much now.
True.
Whitish.
True. No.
You'd have to.
I'm underrepresented. No. Am I? I don't know. I'm taking the piss. White boys are definitely underrepresented.
We've got a real thing.
So watch this space.
Yeah, we'll have to come back to that at some point. But I just noticed it was just a bit of observational, not comedy, of just noticing just this one day, because you have the barrage of advertisements from Coles and Woolworths and all the rest of it, and just noticed not a single white child in any of these.
Boy or child?
Not a single. Yes,
I think
you're
you said
quite
boy.
right. Not a single white boy. I think there was a white girl, but not a single white boy.
Because white men are the devil.
And I sort of thought, is that noteworthy? And I wonder if they notice. They say, because I get it. Like, little white boys were the epitome of advertising for a very, 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 very long time.
But if you've gone to the effort of being inclusive and added every single other type of colour of child and specifically
one
left
in a wheelchair
out, yeah, that's what I mean. Like able-bodied, disabled. I don't even meant to say that. I don't even know. What is disabled now? No, handicapped. I don't know. Every nationality.
You ableist whore.
Probably. And specifically not put a white boy in it, then that's a problem.
Yeah, just wondering. Maybe it was just a coincidence, I don't know, but I just sort of had this, something made me think of it, and then I looked around, then I was looking around and I just said, because especially when it's in supermarkets where they do a fair bit of advertising, children advertising,
they have the power.
And you sort of notice,
oh God, what time is it?
Yeah.
All
so anyway,
right,
so that's it.
Note,
I think we've covered. So this is the complaints department.
Hopefully Fridays is not a constant complaint. There's always something.
There is always something. So yeah, again, I don't know. As I said, we've tried to be reasonably fair. It's not just one particular car.
Place. You have to edit the
place
one out that I.
Yes, there might be one beep for once.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Cool.
I can do anything. I can give you a horse's head if you want one in these sorts of things.
True.
But I think we've been reasonably fair, and not all of it's because of Tasmania, but a lot of it is certainly I won't go so far as to say the chip on the shoulder, but certainly just accepting it, the defeatism with a lot of it. And you just go, well, because when people always ask us for that, and it's like, well, why don't you get some in? Nah.
Yeah,
it's like,
bizarre.
well, this is why Tasmania is such a dominant world power.
Never will be.
And that's why, and again, for Tassies in the future when we're, very famous and...
I want you to be.
I want you to be. I definitely want you to be. And my opinion isn't the end all be all, but you see some of this stuff and you just go, this place could be so much. That's the reason I give a shit. There's a lot of people, if you fucking don't like it so much, why are you here? Because I like it, and I do like it.
It's beautiful.
And I like to be able to leave it, but it's really nice. But
and you don't have to ruin it to make it better. I think they all think that, oh no, we can't change anything. It's like, no, you can.
But there's some things that really need to be changed.
Oh yeah. Basics.
The educate, health,
housing,
education, housing.
Start with those, and stop resurfacing.
Stop resurfacing the fucking roads.
Well, stop resurfacing the same fucking piece of road. I went over 2 bits today. I went, this has been resurfaced. Why? It was nothing wrong with it.
Apart from the dodginess of it all that I've mentioned, most of it is just the case of, we've always done it this way, and that's how we're going to do it. Tasmania really suffers from that.
And jobs for mates, honestly.
Oh, yeah. This place... Well, there's
3 people.
Yeah, and they're all related, and we've covered that. And, there's no political donation laws in Tasmania.
I saw that. That's going to be interesting.
Never has been.
Yeah.
So how do you think certain families get to have, monopoly pokey licenses for years and years and years and years and years? Because it's just like, well, allegedly, possibly, well, let's, because I couldn't imagine that being...
legit.
Well, ripe for exploitation. Couldn't possibly happen.
Wow.
These people are beyond reproach. bless them. Thank you for letting us stay in your state. Please don't kill us. But
Yes.
but there's a few things you should take a bit of a look at, and maybe. And all of our complaints today are just little gripes.
Yeah. First world problems.
First world
World problems.
You know. But except for the car trying to kill us because they're being negligent.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't understand why. They didn't look like
I don't know. Anyway.
There didn't look like there was a shortage of people there.
No, there never is.
To come full circle.
There's like 25 people standing around in the shop where they go, oh no, we haven't got that. It's like, oh, sorry, that was my phone.
On that note,
don't forget to like and subscribe.
At this point, don't forget to just like. I don't know.
Oh dear.
I did actually have that thought as a very final thing. I did actually have thought that maybe we should. Again, this is the scientist in me going. We should A/B test some of the podcasts, and at the beginning say, "Hey, don't forget, thanks for coming. Welcome to the Day Drinking Podcast."
I thought you were going to talk about headers. I used to do that.
Subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and it
subject
really
lines on
helps us
emails.
out. And do that on every second one, and see if we get more views on one than the other. But I'm not doing that.
I said I did A/B testing on my emails when I used to send them out.
Yes, that's because you're in marketing.
I was, not anymore. Fuck off. On that note, goodbye.
Goodbye.
I think my bum's sweaty.
Off you go, my children. Oh, Jesus. Beware of
Sweaty bums.
wolves with sweaty bums.